The storm had knocked out the power an hour ago. Jonathan sat in his dimly lit living room, the only illumination coming from the dying embers in the fireplace. He checked his phone, no signal. The rain lashed against the windows, wind howling like a wounded animal. He sighed and leaned back. Just another night alone in the old house. He had inherited the place from his grandfather, a looming Victorian home on the outskirts of town. He never liked it much. Too many dark corners, too many creaking floorboards. But it was free, and as a struggling writer, he couldn't afford to be picky. A loud thud from upstairs. Jonathan sat up, pulse spiking. The house was old, sure, but that didn't sound like the usual settling noises. It sounded like something or someone moving. He grabbed the poker from the fireplace and stood, heart hammering. Another thud, this time closer. Jonathan's breath came out in short bursts as he stepped toward the staircase. He hesitated, listening. The wind rattled the windows, but beneath it, something else lurked. A faint scraping sound, like nails dragging against wood. He swallowed hard and forced himself up the stairs, each step creaking under his weight. The hallway stretched before him, shrouded in darkness. The door to his grandfather's old study stood ajar. It had been locked since the day Jonathan moved in. He stepped closer, poker gripped tightly. The door creaked open with a long, agonizing groan. Inside, moonlight spilled through the window, casting long, jagged shadows across the room. Something was wrong. The furniture, covered in dust and sheets, wasn't how he remembered it. Papers littered the floor, covered in strange symbols drawn in black ink. And then he saw it. A figure in the corner, hunched, motionless, facing away from him. Jonathan's throat went dry. The figure was tall, unnaturally thin, its head tilted slightly, as if listening. A slow, deliberate breath rasped through the air. Jonathan took a step back, but the floor groaned beneath him. The figure twitched. Slowly, too slowly, it turned its head. Jonathan's stomach lurched. The face was wrong. Its skin was stretched too tight over sharp bones. Eyes sunken deep, glowing faintly in the dim light. Jonathan staggered back, dropping the poker. The figure moved, not walking, not stepping, gliding. Jonathan ran. He tore down the hallway, his own ragged breath drowning out the storm outside. He reached the stairs and nearly tripped, catching himself just in time. Behind him, the whisper grew louder, thick with malice. He hit the ground floor, lunging for the front door. He fumbled with the lock. Why wouldn't it open? His hands were slick with sweat, slipping over the brass handle. Then, silence. The air felt heavier, thicker, pressing against his skin like an unseen weight. Slowly, he turned. The figure was at the top of the stairs, still watching. Then, it took a step forward, not gliding anymore, walking, deliberate, slow, coming for him. Jonathan yanked the door open and stumbled into the storm. Rain hammered against his skin, but he didn't stop. He ran across the yard, toward his car. He yanked the door open and threw himself inside, slamming the lock down. His hands shook as he jammed the key into the ignition. The engine sputtered. "Come on! Come on!" A tap on the window. Jonathan froze. The figure stood inches away, its grin wider now. It raised a hand, and with one long, jagged nail, it traced a single word into the fogged glass. "Mine!" Jonathan's scream drowned in the roar of thunder. Then, darkness.